Now then, this year Pinewood Studios celebrates its 60th birthday. It was founded by J. Arthur Rank, whose name is immortalised in rhyming slang, and apart from a break in production during World War II, has been providing facilities for more than 600 feature films ever since. So, by way of premature celebration, Kirsty Young now takes a look at one of the British industry's most successful production centres.
Contrary to rumour, the British film industry is alive, well and thriving deep in the Buckinghamshire countryside. Here at Pinewood Studios, the stages have rarely been busier, but whilst the crews hard at work are usually British, the money paying their wages is more often than not as American as the films they're making. Despite occasional box office hits like Four Weddings and a Funeral and A Fish Called Wanda, British funding for British films is often described as too little, too infrequently. With only one British film being shot for every 6 made in North America, it's little wonder that 60% of the films on our screens at any one time are Hollywood product. However, many of those films are in fact shot on these shores. Mission Impossible, starring Tom Cruise, will hit our screens later in the year, but appearances aside, this was all shot on Pinewood stages. But with all Hollywood's resources at their disposal, why do American filmmakers cross the Atlantic to work here? The man whose job it is to keep them coming is Steve Jaggs, managing director of Pinewood Studios.
There are a number of reasons why Americans productions will choose to come to the UK. And some of those things are, of course, script-driven, as can be demonstrated by First Night when they came here to shoot. Obviously, it was a medieval picture. It required lots of locations, such as castles and the type of terrain that we have, which was found in many places throughout the UK, which they can't have in California, at least. And also, coming to Pinewood Studios, we have a lot of area here where you can exterior build. For instance, the interiors of Camelot were built here on our lot, and they also utilised the tank to build the north entrance to Camelot, where a lot of fight sequences were on the turrets of the castle, where they were falling into what was supposedly a moat, was in fact our tank.
Pinewood offers filmmakers Europe's biggest exterior tank, holding 800,000 gallons of water. Another attraction is the world's biggest silent stage, offering 45,000 square feet to work in. Officially dubbed the Albert R. Broccoli 007 stage, it was originally built for The Spy Who Loved Me and featured in most of Roger Moore's later outings as Bond. It's rarely been out of use since, but not exclusively by feature filmmakers. Like the other 18 stages here, it's rented out, this particular one, at a whopping 14,000 quid a week by companies making pop promos, commercials and television dramas like Poirot. At the moment, most of the stages and construction workshops are occupied by Luc Besson's new science fiction thriller Fifth Element. But Pinewood isn't only busy with filming. You'll also find editors hard at work cutting pictures or, once shooting's finished, completing the soundtrack. Glenn Fremantle's putting the finishing touches to a new thriller starring Rob Lowe.
The sequence you're seeing here, which is an underwater sequence, which you've got the fish, you've got everything. The whole of this sequence is shot with no sound at all, just an underwater cameraman and a few lights. So now what we have to do is we have to create all the movement underwater, all the sound, the ambient sound underwater, and all the bubbles coming from the air apparatus and everything, and all the underwater noises when they start pulling the metal around. So we create that.
But a lot of people might be very surprised that it's as labour-intensive as this when they think, well, I go to the movies and, really I'm watching the pictures. How come these guys are spending so long deliberating over the sound? Do you think people really notice?
No, I don't think they do notice. I think they would notice if... I think they'd notice if we didn't do it. I mean, because I think people really expect a sound experience in the cinema these days. Because especially with the new digital format, everyone expects to be shocked into it and noises coming from everywhere. And that takes a lot of time.
It's family country.
The Rank organisation that owns Pinewood has an ongoing commitment to maintaining the studios. And even if Britain isn't making as many of its own films as it did back in 1936 when Mr. Rank built Pinewood, looking on the bright side, at least it has an opportunity to retain its filmmaking skills.
And there'll be more from Kirsty Young next week.